Welcome to Brighton, the Plaice fishing mecca on the south coast. So you can guess what we're targeting today. We have come down to try and catch a beautiful spotty fish. I'm down here fishing with Wayne, the shore hunter. He's setting up just over there behind me, and it is absolutely glorious. The sun rose, it was actually dark still when I parked up, and it was -3 when I was driving down from where I live this morning. But we're here. We've got a fantastic selection of bait today. We've got some distance rigs to be using because it's a lot of it down here is about the distance. Probably 100 yards plus for those Plaice. Got to get it sent out there, but you couldn't ask for better conditions today. The sea is flat, it's getting clear. Maybe could do with being a little bit clearer looking at it from up here, but it's still low tide. As the tide comes in, it might clear right out. That's what we're hoping for. It's almost low tide. It's about an hour and a half now till low tide, and high tide is just after lunch today. So we're going to fish through the day, see what we can pick up. Hopefully we get some decent fish on camera and pull out a few of those Plaice. Still a little bit early in the season, but at least we can try out the tactics, look at the baits and try and work out what's going to work for those Plaice. See you in a bit, guys. So I was saying I had a great selection of bait. Because I've got a long session today, I've actually put all my bait in my big cool box, and in here we have spare newspaper so I can rewrap it later on. There's some beautiful ragworm. Look at that beauty. So I've got about half a pound of rag. I'll give some of those to Wayne later. We have 3 wraps of lug. Now I picked these up from my local shop 3 days ago, but they still look pretty mint. Some would say they're getting close to the perfect age to be using. Personally, I prefer mine a little bit fresher than 3 days old, but that's when I had the chance to go and pick them up from the shop. And lastly, what do we have in here now? Right, I'm just going to get these out because they're in water. I put them in a bag to try and keep all my newspaper dry. They have leaked a bit. So let's get these out. We have here some beautiful blow lug. So there's more anglers just arriving at the beach. All right, let me get this lid off. Bear with me. I don't want to put it in my box because it's soaking wet. So there's about half a pound of blow lug there. Beautiful bait. So we've got 3 lots of lovely fresh bait, and we're going to see which of these is going to work best for those Plaice. So I'll get all this tidied up and I'll bring you back in a second, take a look at the rigs for the day. So let's take a look at the rigs. Today I'm going to be using my clipped down URFE rigs. I've had a few requests asking me to do a video on those, so I will do how to make them. But this morning, right now, we're just going to look at them. I'm going to be using a single hook clipped down URFE and 2 of the wishbone versions. So let's take a look at the single hook version first. There we go. I just unwind the little tie on there. This is the simplest rig to make in the world, except perhaps a plain URFE rig without a clip. Right, so here we go. We have, that is the extent of the rig body. It's an URFE bar, URFE, with a splashdown on the bottom. And then I've got a 2.5 or 3 inch bit of tube there at the top of the snood to help it stop getting tangled. I've got a massive 4-foot snood, and down the business end we have a green pop-up and a size 2 Varibass Aberdeen, and there's a little sequin on there just to act as a bait stop. So that's the single hook version. The wishbone version is pretty much the same, except it's got a wishbone at the end. So let's take a look at this one. Let those packets burn away. Wayne's just walked back down the beach. He'd popped back to his van to get some stuff. So if you see me glancing away, that's what I was looking at. Right, so this is the wishbone version. Again, I've got the nice 4-foot long snood, plus a little bit extra this time for the wishbones at the end, or the wishbone singular. Got a little bit of tangling going on there. I didn't wrap this one up very well. Right, nearly there.
So I've got a 4-foot snood, just like the first one. At the end of that snood, there is a swivel, which we will look at in a second. There we are. So there's a tiny little swivel, and that's trapped between 2 rubber stops, and I can move those rubber stops to let it slide about if I want to later on. And we got 2 size 2 Varivas Aberdeens, and then again the same setup with the green pop-ups, the little sequin and a little rubber stop just above those. So that is my rig for the day. I'm going to be using 2 of those and 1 of the single hookers, and these are, I reckon, the best distance rigs I've ever used. Certainly the single hook one just absolutely flies. You could get more drag with the 2 hooks because you've got extra bait, extra beads, but still flies through the air lovely. And I'm going to be pairing 2 of these with plain leads, and the other one's going to have a grip to see if that makes any difference. So I'll put 1 plain and 1 grip on the 2 wishbones and the plain lead on the single hooker. So I'm going to finish getting set up. I've got my rods put together, haven't got the reels on yet. I've got my Century Supermatch graphics and my 2 blue Daiwa 7HT mags today. I was going to bring my Super Tunes down, but I'm still a little bit scared of them. If you've seen my previous videos, you know they're fluffing up a little bit. So I need to really bring those on a shorter session to try them out, not one when I'm down here for literally the whole day. So I'm going to get these set up, get some baits out, and hopefully see you in a minute with a nice place. You know, optimism, always got to start the day that way. See you shortly. So we've got baited up, ready to go. I've been standing around chatting for a bit because, well, there was no point starting too early, was there? But there we go, look at that. That is my wishbone clipped down URFE, loaded with a fresh lug and a fresh rag. So I'm just going to slide that bait stop down so it's touching the top of the rag there. We're going to get this clipped up and get it sent out. I've got my plain 5-ounce aero lead from Shorecast on here. We'll see how that goes, but from EB, I'll switch over to grip leads later if it's rolling around too much. Beach is getting busy now, there's quite a few people down there, and it's set to be a glorious day. Let's get these baits out. So there we go. That is the clip down wishbone URFE rig. We're going to get this one sent out and hopefully pick something up. I've got the single hook one baited up as well, ready to go. I've put the blow lug on that. Just check my drop length there. A bit longer, there we go. There's a few swimmers around, so I'm just going to check the sea. Oh, there is one coming past me, so I'm just going to wait. I don't think I can cast as far out as them, but you never know, do you? So we just give them time to pass by. Well, the swimmer is nearly past. Another few seconds, I'll be able to get this lead out. All ready to go. Look at those beautiful worms. Stunning bait today. I've got high hopes for the session. Let's get these out. Check my mags. Oh, they're well tight. Take 4 clicks off. That's dangerous, isn't it? 4 clicks off the mags. Still running slow. Making a horrible grating noise, and I've recently oiled it. Damn real. So that's the first rod out, second one's ready to go. And here you can see the clip down single hook URFE loaded with blow lug there. So we're going to get this one chucked out. I'm just going to nip that little tail off that's dangling down, make it a bit more streamlined. There we go. A couple of tails there, they can come off. So unlike with black lug, I don't like get my scissors out and top and tail the blows. You want to keep the juices in them. Because, well, like I say, keep them in. We obviously want the juice to come out because it's that's the central. But with blow lug, the skin doesn't have the thickness of the black, so I don't like trimming these because we want they're very liquidy. We want that to slowly come out while the bait's out in the water. So let's get these ones chucked out, and then we've got 2 rods out fishing. Then I think it's going to be time to make a cup of tea. Well, I got myself a cup of tea. I've lit my hand warmer. And it's time to get some breakfast on. I've just got a person appeared. I think they're about to walk under my line, so I'm just going to go and stand over by my rods, check they don't go into the line, and I'll be back in a minute to sort out some breakfast. Right, walker's clear of the line. So it's time for one thing and one thing only. I've even brought the kitchen frying pan down today. Such an early start. I thought some decent food was needed on the beach. I'm going to keep that bag because when that pan is oily, it can go back in there. And we have Tesco finest bacon. And I've even brought some oil with me to put in the pan. So I'll get my cooking equipment ready. Bread rolls. Pop some oil in it. It's not the biggest pan in the world, so I might have to cook batches. And I have the all-important Jetboil pan stand, and that is in my box. I'll just get that out. I made the mistake once of forgetting my pan stand. Tried to cook anyway and melted the Jetboil, so it didn't work very well. So you definitely need this little attachment to go on there to protect the Jetboil's plastic. Alright, just have a little look at my rods. Nothing going on there. Alright, let's get this lit. I don't want it too vigorous. It's pretty level. Bacon. I don't think my doctor would like me eating this with my blood pressure. Anyway, sometimes you just got to treat yourself, haven't you? I think we've got another dog walker coming past. I can see this is going to be a fun way of cooking. All these people walking their dogs in the morning. Let's just turn that back off. I'll have take two in a minute. Take two. We're on about take 5 now with all these dog walkers. It's up, obviously the time of day when everyone turns up with their dogs. But let's get cracking with this bacon. There we are. Put that nice and level. I did have an espresso before I left home, but it doesn't quite hit the mark the same as a cup of tea. Anyway, let's get a few of these in the pan. Whatever I don't cook up now can go in my bait cool box, because you know that's where food lives, isn't it? If you bait. One of my rods looks like it's gone a little bit slack. Hopefully that's a good sign. We've got a bit of tide running now. Still people going out swimming. I'll stick 2 more bits of bacon in. There we are. We want fully loaded brekkie, don't we? What a mess. Right, get those in the cool box. With the worms. Fingers a little rinse. Sorted. Try and keep my bait out of the sun, my rag. Let's see how we get on. And there we go. Bacon rolls all round. Nearly done, guys. Where did I put them rolls? It's looking good. There we go. I can't tip it up too much because the fat will come out. But that's looking good. I haven't got a knife, so I'm just going to split this open and get some of this bacon whacked in there. Look at that. Brighton Beach breakfast. Yes. And there we have it. 2 lovely bacon rolls. Breakfast is sorted. Oh, God, dear, I'm getting old. Yummy. Well, I've been fishing for about an hour, so I thought I'd better film me reeling in, you know. Just got a guy walking past in front of me. I'll wait till he's gone under my line, and then we get reeling in. Well, he seems to be deciding to walk straight down to the sea. Right, there we go. He's moving along. He'll be out the way in a second. Not quite sure what he's doing. He seems to be pacing out the beach. Kind of interesting. Right, anyway, let's get this one in. This is the one I chucked out first. I'm not quite sure which way around my lines are. When I say chucked out first, I mean I cast it out before the other one. Nothing on it. That plain lead is just sailing in. So the one I've got baited up ready to go is my wishbone clip down earth. And it's loaded with blow lug and black lug. We'll check the baits on this, see if anything's had a munch. Definitely got a bit of tide running now. I've got the grip lead on the one that's about to go out. Here comes this one. I'll walk down to the water before I cast back out though, so we're a long way up here. And every inch counts at Brighton, no matter what anyone tells you otherwise. Every inch matters. Right, so let's see, has anything munched these baits? Well, the lug has been pulled down the hook. The rag doesn't look like anything's touched that. Just put that right over there. So, yeah, something's had a pull on there. It's got a little knot in it, so just undo the knot. But yeah, something's had a right go at that lug. Look, there we go. So let's get this one unclipped and get the other rig sent out. Just put that lead down by the tripod leg. Clip this one on. So there we go. That is baited up, ready to go out. Really juicy, beautiful baits, that is. If that can't attract a fish, there's nothing feeding yet. So I've just reeled in the single hook clip down earth, and look, that lug, that was the blow lug. Something's had a right munch on that as well. So it's a good sign. We've had a few reel-ins where the bait's been munched, no hookups yet, but hopefully that's going to come. So I baited up the wishbone version, ready to go back out. We'll just grab that line. And we have on here some beautiful ragworm. So I've got just straight rag on one hook, and the other hook at the back here, that has got a lugworm tipped with rag. So I'm going to get this chucked out. I think the next time I bait up, I'm going to go with blacks and blow, because that's what's been munched so far with no interest in the rag. So anyway, I'm going to get these ones out there. We still need a place. Well, I've been asked a few times how to make the clip down earth rig. So I'm going to knock one up here on the beach. Normally I do rig making videos at home, but this rig is so easy, we're going to do it on the beach. The first thing we have here is an earth bar, URFE, and we're going to put on this a splashdown. So we just clip that onto the end of the earth bar there, slide that bit of tube back over, just see what I'm doing. There we go. So far what we have there is the earth bar with the splashdown on the bottom. The next thing I'm going to get is my fluorocarbon. This is actually slightly thicker line than I'd normally use. This is 0.41, 25 pound. I prefer 0.35, but this is about as thick as I'd want to go really. There's a little swivel on the earth bar that slides up and down it. We're just going to tie the line onto that. So I'm just going to do a 4-turn uni knot on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gently pull that, wet it, slide that down. Well, hopefully my GoPro just turned itself off mid-recording for no good reason whatsoever. We saw me tie that uni knot at the top, and I've just cut approximately 4 feet of line, maybe a little bit more. Not at home, I'd measure it, but I'm on the beach, so I'm guessing. And then we're going to take this bit of tube, that's about 2.5, 3 inches bit of tubing, 1.5 mil internal bore. Slide that up the snood, like so. A little bit of moisture to help lubricate that. Push it over the knot and onto the swivel at the top of the snood. And then at the business end, firstly, I've got some little rubber stops here, and we're going to put one of these on the snood. Let's pull that up, slide that up, out the way. One of these green pop-ups from Tronics Pro goes on next. Oops, get that through there. Slide that on. Again, slide that up out the way. Now somewhere around here I've got a sequin. And it's in there. Got a little sequin to go on. Just get it out the bag. Fiddly to get hold of. A bit staticky. Oops. So slide the sequin on the snood, and then we're going to get a size 2 Varivas Aberdeen, and again I'll tie this on with a 4-turn uni knot. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that wet. Just gently cinch it down. Pull that nice and tight, and then we're going to trim that end. And then slide our bait stop down. So it's just above the hook there. And that is it. So I've already fishing, I've already got some rigs on the go, so I'm going to wind this up, and this will be good for my next session. So what's that taken? A couple of minutes to make. And honestly, this is the easiest rig to make ever. Doesn't get much simpler than that. Right, put a little cable tie on there. Keep it nice and tidy. And there we have it. Good for the next session. Right, it's time to reel in. Definitely got a bit of tide going from right to left. Let's see what we've got on here. It's coming in easy, so I'm guessing not a lot, but it'll be interesting to see if the bait's been munched again. If that happens a little bit more, I might stick another grip lead on one of these 2 rigs I've got a plain lead attached to, just to see if that can lead to a hookup. Because after all, the way the hook's going to set itself in the fish's mouth is through resistance. If we haven't got enough resistance there and it's not taking it down properly, because as we know, Plaice do suck it in, if they're not feeding aggressively, they might not be sucking it down enough to get that hook to set. And sometimes a grip lead can make all the difference. Well, we're out the water, just got to reel it up the shingle. Tide's coming in now. The sand is covered up that we had exposed earlier when we got here. It's definitely moving a little bit. I am quite a long way back, and I'm quite looking forward to not having to walk up and down the shingle to cast out. Right, let's get my leader knot in the right spot. There we go. Now, what's the bait looking like? That's the big question. Has anything shown interest? These ones looking pretty untouched, so that's a shame. Let's have a look. Yeah, that was rag, which is untouched, and a black lug. It's come off the hook a little bit, but I don't think anything's had a go at that. Anyway, time to get the rigs changed over and get this other one chucked out. The one that I've got baited up ready to go has got a mixture of black and blow lug on it. Single hook, just gone with a cocktail bait. So let's put that in the rig bar. I'm fishing for a few hours now, but it's still early days. The tide's still got a long way to come in. But there we go, that's the juicy black lug tipped with 2 blow lugs. It's quite a big bait. I'll check my drop length while I'm standing here. Add another inch on that. And we're good to go. Let's get them chucked out. Well, I've got my 2-hook loop rig baited up, ready to go. So I'm going to reel the other one in, get those rigs changed over. Got to try something. If we keep doing the same thing, it's going to keep having the same result. I'm also going to try putting another grip lead out on one of my clip down URFE rigs. The grip lead, I've just put a grip lead on the 2-hook clip down. sometimes there's a bit of a theory that if the fish aren't there in numbers, or if the food's not there in decent amounts, they can swim around a bit more looking for your bait, looking for food, rather than just sitting and waiting for it to come to them. So if they're sitting and waiting for it to come to them, a rolling lead's good. And if they're sniffing it out, a grip lead's good because it builds up more of a scent trail where your lead's sitting. Oh, nearly in. It's a little bit of a dump at the edge now. Just going to come through that in a second. Yeah, nothing on this, and the bait's untouched again. Right, let's get these changed over. I need to go and get my thumbie as well. So I'll get my thumbie and I can get these other baits whacked out. Thumbie on, switch the rigs and send it out. So those untouched baits, that was a black lug and a king rag. Look at that. Might have even been two king actually, can't quite see from here. Right. Try a slightly shorter drop length this time because I cast that other one a bit to the right. If my drop length's too short, I find I go a bit to the left. If it's too long, I'll go a bit to the right. That's just me though. Right, let's get this one whacked out. So I want to try and cast this one a bit to the left, deliberately, because my other line's a bit to the right. Right, we're good to go. Don't want to stand in the dip, stand on the high point. Make sure I'm happy with where the lead is. Very slightly to the left, decent distance that one. So that's the 2-hook loop rig, 18-inch snoods, size 4 Varivass super match hooks. If you've seen my other videos, you'll have seen what that rig looks like. If you haven't, go check them out. Right. So I'm going to switch this over to a grip lead and see if that helps improve matters. Well, I haven't done a lot of filming. I've been fishing for over 9 hours and the baits are coming back untouched. Darren Mills is fishing that way behind me. He's caught 8 or 9 beautiful plaice, a few in the 40s, lovely fat things they are. Wayne is fishing that way. He's had 1. And I think my problem is not my tactics, but I'm just not getting quite the same distance as the guys. Even though I'm not a shabby caster, I'm just not getting that lead the extra 20, 30 yards that maybe they are to pick up the fish. But having said that, my rod on the right has gone a little bit slack. I've got grip leads on everything. So we're going to take a look at that just to see if there's anything on there. And I've got my 2-hook loop rig baited up, straight black lug, ready to go back out. Let's see, is the tide easing off? Is that why my line's gone slack? Or have we picked up a fish? Definitely a bit of slack line there. We'll find out soon enough, folks. With the grip leads, it's definitely harder to tell. I'm going with no fish on this. I think it must just be the tide easing. Give us that little bit of slack line. No, nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing's touched that bait. No sign of a fish. You know what? Even though it's all about distance, I'm minded just to plop one close, see if there's something else about out there. Because you never know, do you? You never know. But for this cast, we're going to whack it. And for that, I need to put my thummy back on. Right. Tell you what else is going to go back on. My salopettes in a minute. It's getting a bit chilly. Right. Not twisted round the eye. We're good to go. Tell you what, now we've got that bit of crosswind, it's lifting a little bit, so I'm going to add a click on the mags for next time. That's not going to help my ability to get the distance either. Anyway, those baits are back out. I put some fresh bait on the other rig, and I'm going to keep trying. If we don't keep trying, we're never going to get one. But look, completely untouched. Well, I've been on this beach fishing for over 11 hours. Not a single touch. So it's time for me to pack up. This is the end of the video. Sorry I haven't caught any plaice, but we can't catch all the time. Hopefully my next session out on the plaice will yield something different. A fish would be nice, wouldn't it? But until then, I'll see you next time.